day, haunted by one thought. I must write. I must write. I must write. This is my study, the room in which I write my stories. I built it myself, actually, cut the timber and fitted the logs. I made an awful mess of it. I do my writing here at the side of the room because the roof leaks directly over my desk. I'd moved the desk, but it covers the hole I left in the floor. And the floor was built on the side of a hill, so in heavy rains, the whole room tends to slide downhill. Many's the day I've stood in this cabin and passed my neighbors standing in the road. Still, I'm happy here. Though I don't get enough visitors to suit me. People tend to shy away from writers. They assume we're always busy thinking. Not true. Even my dear sweet mother doesn't like to disturb me, so she tiptoes upstairs and leaves my food outside the door. I haven't had a hot meal in years. But I've done a good deal of writing. Perhaps too much. I look out the window and think that life is passing me at a furious rate. Which makes me ask this question: what force is it that compels me to write so incessantly, day after day, page after page, story after story? And the answer is quite simple. I have no choice. I am a writer. Some days I think I may be mad. I'm quite harmless. Though I do admit to fits of wandering. I'm engaged in conversations where I see nothing and see the silent movement of lips and answer a meaningless yes. Yes, of course. And all the while I'm thinking, he would make a wonderful character for a story that way. And I enjoy writing while I'm doing it, and I like reading the proofs afterward, but once it goes into print, I'm miserable. I see it's all a mistake, that it ought never to have been written, and I can't bear it, and then the public reads it. Yes, charming, clever, charming, but a far cry from Tolstoy. Or a fine thing, but Turgenev's Fathers and Sons was better. And so it will be, to my dying day, charming and clever. Charming and clever, nothing more. And when I die, my friends will walk by my grave and say, here lies so-and-so, a good writer, but Turgenev was better. You know, it's funny, but before you came in tonight, I was thinking to myself, what if I were to give it all up one day? What would I do instead? Well, to you, here, in the theater tonight, I would like to tell you what I would most like to do with my life. Ever since I was a small child, I always a moment. A thought just occurred to me. A subject for a short story. Yes. Yes. What was it we were talking about a moment ago? Never matter. My mind is consumed with this story. See if this appeals to you. It starts in a theater. It starts on the opening night of the new season. It starts with the arrival of all those dear and devoted patrons of the arts who wave and greet each other in grand salon, commenting on how this one looks and how that one is dressed, scarcely knowing what play they are about to see that evening with the exception of one man, Ivan Ilyich Cherdikov. If Ivan Ilyich Cherdikov a civil servant, a clerk in the Ministry of Public Parks, had any passion in life at all, it was for the theater. He certainly had hopes and ambitions for higher office and had dedicated his life to hard work, zeal, and patience. And yet, he would not deny himself his one great pleasure, and so he bought 2 tickets to the very best section of Rostoff's The Bearded Countess. As luck would have it, into the theater that night walked his respected superior, General Michael Brasselhoff, the Minister of Public Parks himself.
Good evening, General.
What? Ah, yes. Good evening.
Permit me, sir. I'm Cherdikov, Ivan Ilyevich. This is a great honor for me, sir.
Yes.
Like yourself, dear General, I too serve the Ministry of Public Parks. That is to say, I serve you, who is indeed himself the Minister of Public Parks. I am the Assistant Chief Clerk in the Department of Trees and Bushes.
Ah, yes. Keep up the good work. Lovely trees and bushes this year. Very nice.
My wife would like very much to say hello, General. This is she, my wife, Madame Cherdikov.
How do you do?
My pleasure. How do you do?
My pleasure, General.
Madame Braslov, my wife, Madame Cherdikov.
How do you do, Madame Brasselhoff? How do you do? I just had the pleasure of meeting your husband.
And I am my wife's husband. How do you do, Madame Braslov?
Shh! Sorry. My apologies.
I hope you enjoy the play, sir.
I will if I can watch it.
Feeling quite pleased with himself for having made the most of this golden opportunity, Ivan Ilyich Cherdikov sat back to enjoy the bearded countess. He was no longer a stranger to the Minister of Public Parks. They had become, if one wanted to be generous about the matter, familiar with each other. And then, quite suddenly, without any warning, like a bolt from a gray, thundering sky, Ivan Ilyich Cherdikov reared his head back and...
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry, Your Excellency! I'm so terribly sorry!
Never mind. It's all right.
It is not all right! It was unpardonable! It was monstrous of me!
You make too much of the matter. Let it rest.
How can I let it rest? It was unexcusable. Permit me to wag your neck, General. It's the least I can do.
Leave it be. It's all right, I say.
But I splattered you, sir. Your complete head is splattered. It was an accident, I assure you, but it's disgusting.
Shh. Sorry. Terribly sorry.
The thing is, Excellency, it came completely without warning. It was out of my nose before I could stifle it.
Shh.
Shh. Yes, certainly. I'm sorry.
But try as he might, Cherdikov could not put the incident out of his mind. The sneeze, no more than an innocent anatomical accident, grew out of all proportions in his mind until it resembled the angry roar of a cannon aimed squarely at the enemy camp. He played the incident back in his mind, slowing the procedure down so he could view again in horror the infamous deed.
was simply charming, wasn't it, my dear?
I found it utterly charming.
I was completely charmed by it.
Excuse me, Excellency.
Tapping. What's that tapping?
I'm tapping, sir. I'm the tapper. Chernikov.
Watch out, dear, it's the sneezer.
No, it's quite all right. I'm all sneezed out. I was just concerned about you going out into the night air with a damp head.
It was a trifle. A mere faux pas. Forget it, young man. Amusing play, didn't you think? Did you find it amusing?
Amusing? Oh, my goodness, yes. So true. I haven't laughed this much in years.
Well, which part interested you the most?
The sneeze. When I sneezed on you. It was unforgivable, sir.
Forget it, young man. Now come, my dear. It looks like rain. I don't want to get my head wet again.
You should let people sneeze on you, dear. You're not to be sneezed at.
I'm ruined. Ruined. He's going to have me fired from trees and bushes. They're going to send me back down to branches and twigs.
Come, Yvonne.
What?
You mustn't let it concern you. It was just a harmless little sneeze. The General's probably forgotten all about it.
Do you really think so?
No. I'm scared, Yvonne.
And so they walked home in despair.
Perhaps if I were to send him a nice gift, maybe some church towels.
Chernikov's once promising career had literally been blown away.
Why did this happen to me? Why did I go to the theater at all? Why did I sit in the balcony with people of our own class? They love sneezing on each other.
Come to bed, Yvonne.
Perhaps if I were to call on the General and explain matters again, but in such a charming, honest, self-effacing manner, he would have no choice but to forgive me.
Maybe it's best not to remind him, Yvonne.
No. If I ever expect to become a gentleman, I must behave like one.
And so the morning came. It just so happened the General listened to petitions that day, and since there were 50 or 60 ahead of him, Chernikov waited from morning till late afternoon.
Next!
I'm not next, Excellency. I'm last.
Very well, then. Last!
That's me, sir.
Well, what is your petition?
I don't have a petition. I'm not a petitioner.
And you waste my time.
Do you not recognize me, sir? We met last night under rather explosive circumstances. I'm the splatterer.
The what?
The sneezer. The one who sneezed. The sneezing splatterer.
Indeed? And what is it you want now? A gesundheit?
No, Excellency. Your forgiveness. I just wanted to point out there are no political or antisocial motivations behind my sneeze. It was a nonpartisan, nonviolent act of God. I curse the day the protuberance formed itself on my face. It is a hateful nose, sir, and I am not responsible for its indiscretions. Punish that which committed the crime, but absolve the innocent body behind it. Exile my nose, but forgive me, your kindship, forgive me.
Young man, I'm not angry with your nose. I'm much too busy to have time for your nasal problems. I suggest you go home, take a hot bath, or a cold one, take something, but don't bother me with this silly business again. Gibber, gibber, gibber. It's all I've heard all day. Gibber, 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 gibber.
Thank you, Excellency. God bless you and your wife and your household. May your days be sweet and your nights be better than your days.
The feeling of relief that came over Chernikov was enormous.
May the birds sing in the morning at your window, and may the coffee in your cup be strong and hot.
The weight of the burden that was lifted was inestimable.
I worship the chair you sit on, and the uniform you wear that sits on the chair that I worship.
He walked home, singing and whistling like a lark. Life was surely a joy, a marvel, a heavenly paradise.
Oh, God, am I happy!
And yet, when Chernikov arrived at home, he began to think.
Have I been the butt of a cruel and thoughtless joke?
Had the minister toyed with him?
If he had no intention of punishing me, why did he torment me so unmercifully?
If the sneeze meant so little to the minister, why did he deliberately cause Cherdikov to writhe in his bed?
To twist in agony the entire night!
Cherdikov was furious.
I'm furious!
He foamed and fumed and paced the night through, and in the morning he called out to his wife, Sonia!
Sonia! I have been humiliated!
You, Yvonne? But who would humiliate you? You're such a kind and generous person.
Who? I'll tell you who. General Braslov, Minister of Public Parks.
What did he do?
The swine. I was humiliated in such subtle fashion, it was almost indiscernible. The man's cunning is equal only to his cruelty. He practically forced me to go to his office to grovel and beg on my knees. I was reduced to a gibbering idiot.
You were that reduced?
I must go back and tell him what I think of him. The lower classes must speak up. The world must be made safe so that men of all nations and creeds, regardless of color or religion, will be free to sneeze on their superiors. It is he who will be humiliated by I.
And so Cherdikov went to humiliate
Last. Well?
Well? Well, you say? Do you not recognize me, sir? Look at my face. Yes, you are quite correct. It is I, once again.
Is you once again who?
Cherdikov, Excellency. I have returned, having taken neither a hot bath nor a cold one.
Who let this filthy man in? What is it?
What is it? What is it, you ask? You sit there behind your desk and ask, what is it? You sit there in your lofty position as General and Minister of Public Parks, a member in high standing among the upper class, and ask me, a lowly civil servant, what is it? You sit there in full knowledge that there is no equality in this life, that there are those of us who serve and those that are served, those of us who obey and those that are obeyed, those of us who bow and those of us who are bowed to, that in this life certain events take place that cause some of us to be humiliated and those that are the cause of that humiliation. And still, you ask, what is it?
What is it? Don't stand there gibbering like an idiot. What is it you want?
I'll tell you what I want. I just wanted to apologize again for sneezing on you. I wasn't sure I made that clear. It was an accident, I assure you, an accident.
Out! Out, you idiot! You imbecile! I never want to see your face again. Should you ever cross my line of vision, I'll have you exiled forever. What's your name?
Cherdikov!
Germ spreader! You maggot! You insect! You're even lower than an insect. You're the second cousin to a cockroach. You're the son-in-law of a bedbug. You're the nephew to a ringworm. You're nothing. Nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing!
At that moment, something broke loose inside of Cherdikov. Something so deep and vital, so organic, that the damage done seemed irreparable. Something drained from Cherdikov that could only be described as the very life force itself. The matter was over, for once, for all, forever. What happened next was quite simple. Ivan Ilyich Cherdikov arrived at home, removed his coat, offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternate ending. For those of you who are offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternate ending. For those of you who are offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternate ending. An inherited 5 million rubles. There isn't much point to it, but it is uplifting. I assure you, it is not my intention to paint life any harsher than it already is, but some of us are indeed trapped. Witness the predicament of a young governess who cares for and educates the children of a well-to-do family. Trapped indeed. Yes, madam.
Look at me, child. Pick your head up. I like to see your eyes when I speak to you.
Yes, madam.
And how are the children coming along with their French lessons?
They're very bright children, madam.
Eyes up. The bright, you say? Well, why not? And mathematics? They're doing well in mathematics, I assume.
Yes, madam, especially Vanya.
Certainly. I knew it. I excelled in mathematics. He gets that from his mother, wouldn't you say?
Yes, madam.
Head up. That's it. Don't be afraid to look people in the eyes, my dear. If you think of yourself as inferior, that is exactly how people will treat you.
Yes, ma'am.
Quiet girl, aren't you? Now then, let's settle our accounts. I imagine you must need money, although you never asked me for it yourself. Let's see. We agreed on 30 rubles a month, did we not?
40, ma'am.
No, 30. I made note of it. I always pay my governesses 30. Who told you 40?
You did. Ma'am, I spoke with no one else concerning money.
Impossible. Perhaps you thought you heard 40 when I said 30. If you kept your head up, that would never happen. Look at me again, and I will say it clearly. 30 rubles a month.
If you say so, ma'am.
Settled. 30 a month it is. Now, you've been here 2 months exactly.
2 months and 5 days.
No, exactly 2 months. I made note of it. You should keep books the way I do, so there wouldn't be these discrepancies. Now, we have 2 months at 30 rubles a month comes to 60 rubles. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Subtract 9 Sundays. We did agree to subtract Sundays, didn't we?
No, ma'am.
Eyes. Well, certainly we did. I always subtract Sundays. I didn't bother making note of it because I always do it. Don't you recall when I said we'd subtract Sundays?
No, ma'am.
Think.
No, ma'am.
You weren't thinking. Your eyes were wandering. Look straight at my face and look hard. Do you remember now?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Oh, I didn't hear you, Julia.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. I was sure you'd remember. Plus 3 holidays, correct?
2, ma'am. Christmas and New Year's.
And your birthday, that's 3.
But I worked on my birthday, ma'am.
You did. There was no need to. My governesses never work on their birthdays.
But I did work, ma'am.
But that's not the question, Julia. We're discussing financial matters now. I will, however, only count 2 holidays if you insist. Do you insist?
I did work, ma'am.
So you do insist.
No, ma'am.
Very well. That's 3 holidays, therefore we take off 12 rubles. Now, 4 days little Koya was sick and there were no lessons.
But I gave lessons to Vanya, ma'am.
True. But I engage you to teach 2 children, not 1. Should I pay you in full for doing only half the work?
No, ma'am.
So we'll deduct it. Now, 3 days you had a toothache and my husband gave you permission not to work after lunch.
After 4. I worked until 4, ma'am.
I have here, did not work after lunch. We have lunch at 1, cannot finish at 2, not at 4. correct?
Yes, ma'am, but I...
That's another 7 rubles. 7 and 12 is 19. Subtract comes to 41 rubles. Correct.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Now on January 4th, you broke a teacup and a saucer.
Only the saucer, ma'am.
Well, what good is a teacup without a saucer, eh? That's 2 rubles. Saucer was an heirloom. It cost much more, but let it go.
Thank you,
I'm
ma'am.
used to taking losses. Now, on January 9th, Collier climbed a tree and tore his jacket.
I forbid him to do so, ma'am.
But he didn't listen, did he? 10 rubles. Now, on January 14th, Bonnie's shoes were stolen.
By the maid. Ma'am, you discharged her yourself.
But you get paid good money to watch everything. I explained that in our first meeting. Perhaps you weren't listening. Were you listening that day, Julia, or was your head in the clouds?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Your head was in the clouds?
No, ma'am, I was listening.
Good girl. Ah, yes. On January 16th, I gave you 10 rubles.
You didn't.
But I made note of it. Why would I make note of it if I didn't give it to you?
I don't know, ma'am.
That is not a satisfactory answer, Julia. Why would I make note of giving you 10 rubles if I did not, in fact, give it to you? No answer. Then I must have given it to you, mustn't I?
If you say so, ma'am.
Well, certainly I do say so. That's the point of this little talk, to clear these matters up. Take 27 from 41 leaves 14. Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
What's this? Tears? Are you crying? Has something made you unhappy, Julia? Oh, it pains me to see you like this. I'm so sensitive to tears. What is it?
Only once since I've been here has anyone given me any money, and it was by your husband. On my birthday, he gave me 3 rubles.
Really? Oh, God. There's no note of it in my book. I'll put it down now. 3 rubles. Thank you for telling me. Sometimes I'm a little lax in my accounts, always shortchanging myself. Take another 3 from 14 leaves 11. Do you wish to check my figures?
There's no need to, ma'am.
Then we're all settled. Here's your salary for 2 months, dear. 11 rubles. Count it.
It's not necessary, ma'am.
Come, let's keep the record straight. Count it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's only 10 rubles, ma'am.
Really? Perhaps you dropped one. Look on the floor, see if there's a coin there.
I didn't drop any, I'm quite sure.
Well, it's not here on my desk, and I know I gave you 11 rubles. Look on the floor.
It's all right. 10 rubles will do just fine. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, keep the 10 for now, and if we don't find it on the floor later, we can discuss it again next month.
Thank you, ma'am.
Julia! Come back here. Why did you thank me?
For the money, ma'am.
For the money? But don't you realize what I've done? I've cheated you, robbed you. I have no such notes in my book. I made up whatever came into my mind. Instead of the 80 rubles which I owe you, I gave you only 10. I have actually stolen from you, and yet you thank me. Why?
In other places I've worked, they didn't give me any money at all.
And they cheated you even worse than I did. I was just playing a little joke on you, a cruel lesson just to teach you. You're much too trusting in this world that's very dangerous. I'm going to give you the entire 80 rubles. It's already 40. The rest is in this envelope. Here, take it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Julia! Is it really possible to be so spineless? Why don't you protest? Why don't you speak out? Why don't you cry out against this cruel and unjust treatment? Is it really possible to be so innocent, so for being so blunt, but such a simpleton.
Yes, ma'am, it's possible. Wait. For those, again, who are offended by life's cruelty, there is an alternate ending. Julia was so enraged by such cruel and unjust treatment that she quit her job on the spot and went back to her poor parents, where she inherited 5 million rubles. It is my intention one day to write a book of 37 short stories, all with that same ending. I do love it so. You know, it has been said that man is the only living creature capable of laughter, and that it is that faculty alone that separates us from the lower forms of life. Yet, one must question this theory when we examine some of the objects of our laughter. For example, pain. Now, pain, needless to say, is no laughing matter, unless, of course, it is someone else doing the suffering. Why a man in the throes of excruciating agony over a toothache that has enlarged his jaw to the size of an orange should be funny, I couldn't say. It is not funny, not in the least. But in the village of Aztempo, where there is very little for forms of entertainment, a man with a toothache can tickle people's ribs for weeks. Certainly, Sergei von Miglaslov, the sexton, saw nothing humorous about it. And yet, as he made his way through the village to the hospital, his moans and groans won him more chuckles than sympathetic remarks. Wouldn't they find it all the more amusing to know that the good doctor who normally performed the extractions of such angry teeth was out that day at the wedding of his daughter, and so the duty fell to his new assistant, Kuryatin, an eager medical student, if, alas, poor sexton, an inexperienced one.
Greetings, Father. What brings you here today?
The pain is unbearable. It is beyond unbearable. It is unendurable.
Where exactly is the pain?
Where isn't it? Everywhere! It's not just the tooth, it's the whole side of my mouth.
How long have you been in this agony?
10 years.
10 years?
Since yesterday morning, it seemed like 10 years. I must have sinned terribly to deserve this. God must have dropped whole other business to punish me in this way. Where's the doctor?
Oh, the doctor is away on personal business. He's left the care of his patients in my young and capable hands.
But are you a doctor?
In every way except a degree, I am a doctor to be.
Then I am a patient to be. Goodbye. Ah!
I can assure you, the only thing preventing me from being called a doctor is the formality of an examination. I'm skilled, I'm just not titled. I beg you for this opportunity. Please, come sit in a chair, Father.
Heaven help me today. Oh, even sitting hurts. Ugh.
Well, no doubt the nerves inflamed. Once removed, the pain will cease to be.
You're going to remove the nerves?
The tooth that's connected to the nerve. It's a simple matter of surgery. Let's see.
The cigar!
Yeah, sorry.
The cigar is burning my
like me to put it out? I only smoke it to steady my nerves.
Smoke it. Smoke the cigar.
Thank you. All right. Now let's see what we have here. All right. Have a look in there.
I pray for you. I pray to the saints and our dear Lord in heaven. Be gentle with me. Spare me pain.
Oh, my dear Sexton, we're living in an age of advanced science. In capable hands, there's no longer a need for pain. If it's gentleness you want, it's gentleness you shall have. Now, please, open your mouth so I can examine you. Come now, open up. My dear Sexton, as inexperienced as I may be, I know it is imperative for you to have your mouth open. For all work concerning the mouth, it must be open first. It would be highly impractical for me to pull your tooth from the outside. Now open up. Oh, not just your lips, your entire mouth. I don't want to brush your teeth, I want to examine them.
Please be gentle with me.
Didn't I already promise you that I would?
As a child, I was promised many things I never got.
There's no pain connected to this part. It's simply an examination to see what must be done, where, and how. Now, please, open your mouth. Ah, there, that's better. Now let's have a look here. Oh, there's the little bugger. You're a nasty little one, aren't you?
Stop talking to it! Don't make friends with it! Pull it out!
Don't rush me. I'm evaluating. Your tooth has a hole big enough to drive a horse and carriage through. Ugh.
What is it?
It's even disgusting to look at. This is going to be my profession. I guess I have to get used to these things. All right. I'm going to...
Be gentle.
As if I were your own mother.
My mother didn't like me. Gentler.
I just have to see if the nerve is exposed. All I'm going to do is gently blow on your tooth, okay? Excuse me. All right, here goes. Ready? I have some information for you. The nerve is exposed.
Is that how far science has advanced? Blowing on teeth?
Well, it's inconclusive. More work must be done in this field. So much depends on the temperature of the doctor's breath. All right. Now we know what we need to do here.
What are you going to do with those?
The tooth has to come out. It'll be out quicker than you can spit.
Oh, merciful God!
Surgery is nothing. It's all a matter of a firm hand.
I pray for you. May the Lord enlighten your soul. May he grant you health and quickness. Mostly quickness.
Amen.
Amen!
All right, now let's see what we have here. This tooth will come out easily. Some give you trouble, I admit, but that's only when the roots are deep. I hope you prayed for shallow roots. All right, you got my hand. I'm not going to be able to pull your tooth out while you have my hand. Let go. Let go, I say. There, that's better. You got my hand again. I'm going to pull out your tooth. I need my hand. If you don't let go, I'm going to take these forceps and pull those fingers out. Now let go. All right. There we go. That's better. Now I've got it. Get a firm grip on it. Don't twitch. Sit still. You're twitching again. Oh. Important thing is not to break the crown. Okay, I've got it. I've got a firm grip on the little monster. Now, whatever you do, don't grab my hand. I have enough trouble with your tooth without you interfering. All right, on the count of 3, it's coming out. 1, 2, 3.
Ah!
Oh. Pull it out. My first tooth.
You pulled it out all right. I hope they pull you into the next world like that.
Oh. This is not good. The crown broke. You still have roots in your mouth. What a mess this is going to be. I told you not to twitch.
You butcher! You carpenter! You're God's punishment for my sins. Compared to you, the toothache was a joy.
You ignorant peasant. The only thing harder than the roots in your tooth are the brains in your head. Now get back in that chair. We have unfinished business to attend to.
Keep away from me, sorcerer! If you put your fingers in my mouth, it'll be the first solid food I eat this week!
Nope. You're not leaving here until those roots come out. It's a matter of professional pride. All right. Nope. I failed in my duty.
Come, my son. Let us pray for a miracle. Dear Lord in heaven,
Dear God above,
I plead for this good doctor.
I pray for this poor creature.
Keep his hands steady.
Keep his mouth open.
Don't let him falter.
Don't let him bite me.
Hail Mary!
Hail Mary!
Hail Mary!
Hail Mary!
Hail Mary!
Hail Mary!
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Ah, fine weather we're having. Wouldn't you say, madam?
I hadn't noticed, really. Yes, I suppose it is a lovely day.
Not many more of these left. Winter's just beyond that tree there.
The winters seem to be coming sooner lately. Have you noticed? They last longer, they stay longer.
Why, yes, madam. I have noticed it. Only in these last few years have I noticed it. A kind, gentle-looking person who's seen his share of This kind, gentle-looking gentleman speaks once again to me. And a shy, nervous widowed lady go out with him for tea. Figure of a lady with quality and tone. A fine figure of a lady, and she always sits alone. Should a fine figure of a gentleman who's older than the sea. Ask a fine figure of a lady if she'd like to share some tea. I was wondering, madam,
Yes?
I was wondering, do you have the time of day?
Oh, no, I don't carry a timepiece.
Ah, no matter. It wasn't urgent. My business can wait. Yes, it can wait. Can this old weather-beaten gentleman take one more chance at life? She reminds me of that sweet lady whom I lovingly call wife. I had my tender-hearted gentleman. Can I go through again all the pain, joy, and all the sorrow that you get from loving men? Is it too late for happiness? Too late for flings? Too late to ask for love? There's so many springs left for two people who spend their nights waiting for the day for someone to share delights long since passed away. Too late for happiness, too soon for fun. Too late for anything at all. Seems to be clouding up a bit.
Yes, I feel a slight chill in the air.
Oh, would you like my scarf for your neck?
Think you know? It's getting late. I should be getting home.
Yes. Yes, of course. I was thinking the same thing. The same thing. Unless.
Yes?
Unless you would care to join me for tea? A cup of hot tea.
Tea?
It might be just the thing.
Tea, you say?
A cup of tea?
It's awful kind of you. Yes, I would love to.
You would?
Yes. But not today. It's getting late. I should be going home. Perhaps tomorrow.
Yes. Yes, of course. Perhaps tomorrow. Good. There's always tomorrow.
Good day, sir.
Good day, madam.
Semyonich was the greatest seducer of other men's wives I've ever met. He's successful with all women for that matter, but there was a particular challenge to beautiful women married to rich, prominent, successful men. I could never do him justice. Let him tell you in his own words.
If I may say so myself. I am the greatest seducer of other men's wives that I've ever met. And I say this not boastfully, but as a matter of record. The staggering figures speak for themselves. Now, for those here interested in playing this highly satisfying but often dangerous game, I urge you to take out your pen and paper and take notes. I am going to explain my methods. Now, married women may do likewise, but it'll do you little good if you happen to be the chosen victim. My method never fails. Now then, there are 3 vital characteristics needed. They are patience, more patience, and still more patience. Those without the strength to wait and persist, I urge you to take up bicycling, rowing, perhaps, because seducing isn't for you. Now then, in order to seduce a man's wife, you must, I repeat, you must keep as far away from her as possible. Pay her practically no attention at all. Ignore her, if you must. We will get to her through the husband. You are about to witness a practical demonstration, for, as it so happens, I am madly and deeply in love this week. My heart pounds with excitement, knowing that she will walk through this garden in moments with her husband. Every fiber of my being tells me to throw my arms around her and embrace her with all the passion in my heart, but observe how a master works. I shall be cool, almost to the point of freezing. My heart of hearts and spouse approaches.
Ah, Peter Semyonich. Fancy seeing you here.
My dear Nikolaj, how good to see you. You're looking well. Notice how I'm not looking at her.
Thank you. You UK devil, you're always looking well. Have you met my wife, Irina? Oh, of course you have. You sat next to her at dinner at the Vestovs. Irina, I don't know what this charmer said to you at dinner, but I must warn you that he's a scoundrel, a notorious bachelor, and an exceptional swordsman. That's the best I can say for you, Peter.
You exaggerate, Nikki. Madam, good to see you again.
We were just taking a stroll. If you're not busy, why don't you walk with us?
Well, that is very kind of you, Nikolaj, but as a matter of fact, I'm riveted to this spot. A new romance has just entered my life, and my legs are like pillars of granite. In my sight, I will be incapable of movement. Is that too much? As I said, be patient.
Fantastic. You never cease to amaze me. Pretty, I suppose.
Oh, suppose magnificent, suppose glorious, and you will suppose correctly.
Any complications?
As usual, a husband. I'm afraid my cause looks hopeless.
Oh, nonsense. My money's on you, Peter. And you know I never bet unless I'm sure of winning. Well, we're off. Happy hunting, my boy. Good hunting.
Madam. Beautifully done, don't you think? I am sometimes awed by the work of a true professional. Did you notice our eyes barely met? We exchanged hardly a word, and yet how much she knows of me already. A, I am a popular bachelor. B, I'm in love, which is always titillating to romantic women. C, a gifted sportsman, which is a nice contrast to her sedentary husband. And D, this one is most important, dangerous with the ladies. Quite frankly, at this point, she's disgusted by me. A, because I'm a bachelor and a scoundrel. B, because I'm shamelessly frank as to my intentions. And C, because she thinks she's not the one I'm interested in. Oh, do forgive me if I'm just slightly overcome by my own deviousness. By the way, are you getting all this down? It's
is hypnosis, and not hypnosis with the eyes, with the poison of your tongue, much like a venomous snake going in for the kill. And what's more, the best channel is the husband himself. Now, witness is I accidentally run into him one day at the club.
Ah, Peter, you're looking glum. I take it the pursuit isn't going well?
Is it that obvious? I'm doomed, Nikki. I haven't seen her since last I met you and your dear wife. I sleep little, I eat less, I've had all my shirt collars taken in half an inch. Oh, Nikki, why do I waste my valuable youth chasing women that I can never truly call my own? How I envy you.
Me? What is there about me that you envy?
Why, your marriage, of course. A charming woman, your wife, let me tell you.
Really? What is it about her that fascinates you so?
Her grace, her quiet charm, everything. But mostly it's the way she looks at you, Nikki. Why, if only someone would look at me like that, with such adoring, loving eyes. It must send quivers through your body.
Quivers? No, not really.
A tingle, perhaps? Now don't tell me you don't tingle when she looks at you.
Oh, of course. By all means, I tingle all the time.
She's an ideal woman, Nikki. Believe that from a lonely bachelor, and be glad fate gave you a wife like that.
Well, perhaps fate will be as kind to you.
That is what I'm counting on. Oh, good heavens, I'm late for my doctor's appointment.
What's he treating you for?
Melancholia. Please, say hello to your extraordinary wife, but I urge you not to repeat our conversation. It may embarrass her fragile sensitivities. Oh, where is the woman for me? I know where. The question is, how soon will she be mine? Now, there is still work to be done, but not by me. That task falls to my aid and accomplice. By the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Oh, by the way, I saw Peter Semyonich today.
Who?
Peter Semyonich, the bachelor. We met him in the gardens last week. The attractive fellow. You remember.
I remember what a loathsome man he is.
Oh, you may not think so once you hear what he had to say about you.
Nothing that braggart had to say would interest me.
He spoke most enthusiastically about you. He was enraptured by your grace, your quiet charm. He seemed to think you were capable of loving a man in some extraordinary way. It was something about your eyes and the way that you looked so adoringly. He certainly had a lot to say about you. He went on and on. Well, good night, my dear.
Good night. What else? What else did he have to say about me?
Peter?
Whatever that loathsome man's name is. What else did Peter Semyonich say about me?
Well, that's pretty much it, what I told him.
But you said he went on and on.
Oh, he did.
But you stopped. If he went on and on, don't stop. Either go on and on, or let's go to bed.
Well, he said how much he envied me, how much he wanted someone to look at him the way he looked at me.
What does he know about how I look at you?
Oh, that day in the garden. He must have been looking at you while you were looking at me. It sent a tingle through my whole body.
The way I looked at you.
Exactly, my precious.
But you were looking at him. So you couldn't have seen how I was looking at you. As a matter of fact, I was looking at the flowers because he made me nervous the way he kept avoiding looking at me. You must have tingled for some other reason.
Well, this is all getting rather confusing. The point is, he found you fascinating. I thought it would please you.
Well, it doesn't. I would rather not hear such stories. Are you planning to see him again soon?
Tomorrow for lunch.
Well, I would rather not be discussed over lunch. Tell him that. And at dinner, you can tell me what he said.
Good night, my dear.
Good night, my love. I am spellbound by my own powers. I succeeded in not only piquing her interest, but causing her heart to flutter at the mention of my name. The same person that she just called loathsome not 2 minutes ago. All that was accomplished, mind you, while I was at home taking a pine-scented bath. Luncheon the next day was not only nourishing, but productive. By the way, old man, I ran into Necrosog yesterday. You know, artist. It seems he's been commissioned by some wealthy prince to paint the head of a typical Russian beauty. He asked me to look out for a model for him, and I told him I knew just the woman, but I dare not ask her myself. What do you think of asking your wife?
Asking my wife what?
To be the model, of course. That lovely head of hers. It would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed the opportunity to become immortalized for all the world.
For all the world? Really? I see what you mean.
Why don't you discuss it with her?
Good idea. I'll discuss it with her. Well, I said I would discuss it with you. What do you think?
I think it's nonsense. How did he put it to you? I mean, did he actually say a typical Russian beauty?
Precisely. And that it would be a damn shame if that exquisite face missed a chance to be immortalized for all the world. That's exactly what he said.
He gets carried away by his own voice. Those exact words, you didn't leave anything out.
Oh, that lovely face. I left out that lovely face. He said that a number of times, I think.
Does go on, doesn't he? How many times did he say it? Once? Twice? When?
I don't know. It's hard to remember.
It's not important. But in the future, I wish you would write these things down.
Have you seen me near her? Have you heard me speak to her? Has any correspondence passed between us? No, my dear pupils. And yet she hangs on my every word uttered by her husband. Awesome, isn't it? We shall apply this treatment for 2 to 3 weeks. Her resistance is weakening, weakening, weakening.
His mind is elsewhere, if you ask me, on some woman from the looks of him.
What woman? Has he mentioned any woman in particular?
Oh no, he's far too discreet for that. He'll protect her good name at any cost. Instead, he speaks of you all day. The poor fool. I'm beginning to feel sorry for him.
It's really none of our concern. Nikki, did you ask him to dinner tomorrow?
He's busy.
Day after?
Busy.
Next week? Next month? When? Doesn't the man eat?
No, he said he's working on a very important project. It will be months before he can see us again. Oh, by the way, he did say that good things would come to him with patience and persistence. And that you should go on a stage.
The stage. Me on the stage. Why in heaven's name?
Let me think. He said, oh, I don't want to misquote him.
No, take your time. Try to get it as accurately as possible.
Okay, he said, with such an attractive appearance, such intelligence, sensitiveness, it is sin for her to be just a housewife.
Oh, dear, he said that?
That ordinary demands don't exist for such women.
Nikki, I don't think I want to hear anymore.
Natures like that should not be bound by time and space.
Nikki, I implore you, please stop.
Then he says, if I weren't so busy, I'd take her away from you.
He said that.
Yes, right there.
And what did you say, Nikki? It's important I know what you said to him then.
Well, I said, take her then. I'm not going to fight a duel over her.
Nikki, you mustn't discuss me with him anymore. I beg you not to mention my name in his presence ever again.
That's the thing. I never do. he's always the one who brings up the subject. He actually accused me of not understanding. He shouted at me. She's an exceptional creature. Strong, seeking a way out. If I were Turgenev, I'd put her in a novel. A passionate angel, I would call it. The man is weird. Definitely weird.
He's delivering my love letters, sealing them with kisses, and yet he calls me weird? I ask you. Okay, let's see what we have so far. Now, the poor woman is definitely consumed with a passion to meet me. She thinks I'm the only one who truly understands her. Her yawning, disinterested husband transmits my remarks. But it's my voice she hears, my words that echo in her heart. That sweet poison is doing its work. I am relentless. There is no room for mercy in the seducing business. Now, witness how deftly the final stroke is administered. Those faint-hearted, I urge you, look away.
No, Nikki, not another word from him. I don't want to hear it. Nothing.
Exactly. That's what he said. He begged me to tell you nothing. He said he knew because your sweet, sympathetic nature would worry you to hear of someone else in distress.
He's in distress.
Worse, he's gloomy, morose, morbid, in the depths of despair.
No. Why? What's the matter with him?
Loneliness. He said he has no relatives, no true friends, not a soul who understands.
But doesn't he know we understand him perfectly? Doesn't he know how much we appreciate him and commune with him daily? Doesn't he know how much we yearn to be with him? You and I?
I tried to tell him that. I again invited him to dinner, but he said he can't face people. He's so depressed, he can't go home. Instead, he paces in the public garden where we met him every night.
What time?
Between 8 and 9. Oh, by the way, you've been invited to dinner at the Boscovics tomorrow. Is 8 o'clock okay for you?
No. I'm visiting Aunt Sophia tomorrow. She's ill. I'll be there at 9. Or a little after.
Please, no applause. I couldn't have done it alone. I share that honor with my good friend and collaborator, her husband. He wooed her so successfully that there is no carriage fast enough for her to be in my arms. She ran all the way. Observe. Now, for the conclusion. You will understand if I ask you to busy yourselves with your programs and such. These next few moments are private, and I am, after all, a gentleman. My dear, sweet angel, at last I can speak the words that I have so
No.
longed.
Not a word. Not a sound, please. I couldn't bear it. Not until you've heard the words that are in my heart. For weeks now, I have been in torment. You've used my husband as a clever and devious device to arouse my passions, which I freely admit have been dormant these past 7 years. Whether you are sincere or not, you have awakened in me desires and longings I never dreamt were possible. You appeal to my vanity and I succumb. You bestir my thoughts of untold pleasures and I weaken. You attack my every vulnerability and I surrender. I am here, Peter Semyonich, if you want me. But let me add this. love my husband dearly. He is not a passionate man, nor even remotely romantic. Our life together reaches neither the heights of ecstasy nor the depths of anguish. We have an even marriage, moderate and comfortable, and in acceptable condition and the full measure of his devoted love, I have been happy. I come to you now knowing that once you take me in your arms, my life and my marriage with Nikki will be destroyed for all time. I am too weak and too selfish to make the choice. I rely on your strength of character. Whichever you choose will make me both miserable and eternally grateful. I beg you not to use me as an amusement. Although, even with that knowledge, I would not refuse you. I am yours to do as you will. If you want me, open your arms and I will come to you. If you love me, turn your back now and I will leave and never see or speak to you again. The choice, my dearest, sweetest, love of my life is yours. I await your decision. God bless you, Peter Semyonich. I wish life brings you the happiness you've just brought me.
Peter Semyonich, the former seducer of other men's wives, from that day forward focused his attentions on single, unmarried women only. Until the day came that the perfect girl came along and the confirmed bachelor married at last. He is today a completely happy man, except possibly on those occasions where a dashing young officer comes along and tells him just how attractive he finds his lovely young wife. Getting a little night air to clear my mind. It's good. It's wonderful. The sea air is so refreshing. It revitalizes my entire body. But my mind is blocked. I have no thoughts, no ideas. Most unusual for me. Most times they fill up my brain and overflow it like a cascading fountain. But tonight, nothing. And still I have the urge to write. Something will come. Never fear. Always does. These things happen to all people in my profession at one time or another. Writer's block, we call it. It'll pass. You don't need to panic. Wait. Wait. Something is coming. Yes. Yes. bad idea. I've already written it. Turned out awful. Oh, something will come. It's only temporary. It's just getting to be a very long temporary. Nothing is coming. My nerves are tightening. Oh, God, help me! No, I mustn't rely on a collaboration with the Almighty. What selfishness. To ask God to take time out to help me come up with an idea for a story. Forgive me, dear Lord. I'll go home and get some rest. Tomorrow's a new day. If, however, anything does occur to you in the night, if you could let it be known to me, even if it's just the germ of an idea, it doesn't have to be original. I'm very clever at twisting things around. How desperate I've become. Asking the good Lord to resort to plagiarism for my petty needs. Home. I must get home and to bed before this thing gets serious.
Excuse me, sir. May I have a word with you, sir?
Who's there? I can't see you in the dark.
Evening, sir. I was wondering, sir, if I might interest you in a little entertainment this evening?
Entertainment? I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure you do, sir. Entertainment. Amusement, so to speak. A little, diversion. If you know what I mean.
I think I do know what you mean, and I'm not interested. Go on, off with you. You should know better than to make such a proposal to a gentleman.
You've never seen anything like this before. That I promise you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer. Not even a little bit curious.
Curiosity is the nature of my profession, but I try and keep it morally elevated. Now, excuse me.
Perhaps you're right. On second thought, something like this might be too much for a gentleman of your sensitivities.
Wait.
Ha! Got you with that last one.
Now, I'm just asking, mind you, but what exactly is this entertainment you speak of?
Well, sir, how would you like to see a drowned man?
I beg your pardon?
A drowned man, a man with his lungs filled up with salt water and stone dead from drowning. How much would you pay to see that?
Pay? Pay to see a drowned man? Are you insane? I wouldn't look at a drowned man if he paid me. Why would I want to see a drowned man? What's the point in looking at a man who drowned?
3 rubles, sir. That's all it'll cost you. 3 rubles to see him first before he's in the water. Then, in the agonizing act of drowning, and then the grand finale, the man already drowned, rest his soul.
What are you saying? The man isn't drowned yet? That he's alive and well?
Alive and well, dry as a bone, and standing before you. I'm the drowned man, sir.
You expect to charge me 3 rubles to witness your own suicide? I must get away from this lunatic.
Oh, no. You don't understand, sir. You see, I don't actually drown. I impersonate a drowned man. See, I jump into the icy cold water, flail around, splash my arms, then go under, bubble, 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 then come up, floating, head down, all puppy-like. It sends a chill up your spine. 3 rubles for individual performances, special rates for groups. Show starts in 2 minutes.
I can't believe I'm actually discussing the price of admission to a drowning.
You missed the point, sir. You see, this isn't some cheap thrill. This is a rich tableau filled with social implications, a drama. Not tragic, but ironical in view of its comic features.
Comic? What's comic about it?
Well, I jump into the icy cold water, splash around, and then call for help in a high, squeaky voice. I'm the only one on the waterfront who can do it. It sounds like a pig squealing.
You expect to charge me to hear an underwater pig squealer?
I just had a very successful season, sir. Sold out in August. What do you say, sir? Would you like me to book you now for the dinner show?
Dinner show?
Yes.
What do you mean dinner show?
Well, you see, I jump into the water,
and throw you a nice fish. I think the halibut are ready now, sir.
Why do I stand here listening to this madness?
I do wish you'd make up your mind soon, sir. In 5 minutes, that restaurant throws its garbage into the water, and then it's messy. I have my pride.
Pride. To hell with your pride. It doesn't prevent you from making a living imitating a deceased swimmer.
You sure know how to strike at a man's vulnerable points, sir. That was cruel.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be cruel.
You completely overlook the finer points of my profession. Look here. Have you ever seen a coal miner at the end of the day who goes home with filth and grime all over his body, soot up his nostrils and in his ears, black grit in his teeth? It's disgusting. Or a barber who goes home at night with the cuttings of other people's hair all over his hands. It gets in his bread and his soup. It's nauseating. Do you know where a surgeon puts his fingers?
No, please.
Or a farmer, his feet. Every man who works eventually touches something filthy. On the other hand, I deal with water. Water is wet. It's clean. It's purifying. I don't have to take a bath when I go home at night. I've done it. Can you say the same, sir?
Do you actually expect me to discuss my toilet habits with you? My God, you're infuriating. There must be a carriage around here somewhere. Cabby! Cabby!
You'll regret it. You'll be back one night, bored to death, dying to see a good drowning, and I'll be gone. Next week, I'm in Yalta.
There. There's the police officer. Now, if you don't leave me alone, I'll have you arrested for soliciting.
I'm not soliciting. I'm in the maritime entertainment business.
Drowning is not maritime entertainment. You're a waterfront lunatic. Officer! Officer!
Fine. I'm going. But I'll tell you one thing. The drowning business isn't what it used to be.
Can I help you, sir? Yes. There's a man behind the docks over here. There. He's been pestering me all evening. I shouldn't be surprised if he were deranged.
There's a lot of bad characters around these docks at night, sir. Gentlemen like you shouldn't be wandering around here. What was he pestering you about?
Now, I'm going to warn you, you're going to find this strange, but he wanted to charge me 3 rubles to watch him drown. Can you believe it?
Strange. That is outright thievery. It ain't worth more than about 60 kopecks. Yep. You can get as fine a drowning as you'd want to see and not pay a penny more. 3 rubles? What nerve?
Sir, I think you missed the point.
On that dock right over there, there are 2 brothers, and for a ruble each, they'll give you a double drowning. You gotta know how to bargain with them, get your money's worth.
It's not a question of price.
What? Just right over there last week, there were 14 men, and for 3 rubles, you can get a whole shipwreck. On a good day, you can get a whole navy going down for 11. Yep. 60 kopecks, that's about all I'd pay. Now, just stick to your price, sir, and have a good night.
It's come. It's finally come. The day the whole world has gone mad has arrived at last.
Excuse me, sir. I see the officer is gone, sir. What did you tell him?
Tell him? I told him the truth, that you are mentally unbalanced. Unfortunately, he's a little bit more mentally unbalanced than you.
Still, I appreciate you not causing me any trouble. And in gratitude, I am reducing my price to an all-time low 80 kopecks.
80? Yeah, 80? You thief. You deceiving, conniving, wretched little thief. I won't pay you more than 60.
60? 60 kopecks for a drowning? But where's my profit? It cost me 40 kopecks for my towels and another 40 for the fellow who fishes me out. What's the point? I'd be losing money on it. I might as well just stay under.
You can't cheat me, sir. 60 kopecks, take it or leave it.
You're a hard man, sir, a hard man. 60 kopecks it is. I pray to God God my son doesn't want to be a drowner.
30, 40, 50, 60, there you are. Now, where shall I stand?
Oh, right over here, sir, right on the edge of the dock. That's where you'll see all the action.
You're sure I'll be able to see okay? It's pretty dark down here.
That's what makes it so eerie. You see, the eerier, the more entertaining. All the action's in the last 10 seconds anyway. Here I go. Oh, I almost forgot. When I come up for the 3rd time, yell at the top of your lungs, Popnichevsky! Popnichevsky!
Who's Popnichevsky?
He's the fellow who goes in after me. I can't swim, sir.
You can't swim? You're seriously trying to tell me you're going to drown without knowing how to swim?
That's what makes it so exciting. Popnichevsky always waits till the last second before he jumps in and fishes me out. He's in that restaurant, sir, having a drink. Don't forget the name, sir. Popnichevsky. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the show. If you like it, tell your friends. In the soup, as we say. Oh, God! Somebody! Help! I'm drowning! I can't swim!
Yes, over here a little. I can't see you very well over there.
Oh, somebody! Anybody! Help! I'm drowning! Help me!
Good. Very good. Yes, well, that's enough of that part. I haven't got all night. I don't want to see that part anymore. Can you hear me? I'd like to have you drown now. Good heavens, where is he? Whoop. That's the 3rd time now, wasn't it? Oh, dear. What was that fellow's name? Next actress, please. Next actress, please. Name?
What?
Your name?
Oh, Nina.
Nina, is that it? Just Nina?
Yes, sir. No, sir. No. Nina Mihailovna Zarechny.
Age?
My age?
Yes, please. That means how old are you?
How old are you looking for?
Could you just answer the question simply, please?
Yes, sir, but I just wanted you to know that I can be any age you want. 16, 30. In school, I once played a 78-year-old rheumatic woman, and everyone said it was very believable. A 79-year-old rheumatic woman told me so herself.
Yes. Well, I'm not looking for a 78-year-old rheumatic woman. I'm looking for a 22-year-old girl. Now, how old are you?
22.
Really? I would have guessed 27 or 28.
Oh, I have a bad head cold, sir. It makes me look older. Last year, when I had influenza, the doctor thought I was 39. I promise I can be 22 when you need it, sir.
Do you have a temperature?
Yes, sir. 103.
Good God, what are you doing walking around in the dead of winter with 103 temperature? Go home, child. You can come back another time.
Oh no, please, sir. I waited 6 months to get this audition. And then I waited 3 months to get on the 6-month waiting list. And if I have to go on the end of that list again, then I'll have to wait another 6 months, and then by then I'll be 23, and it will be too late for me to be 22. Please let me read, sir. I'm really feeling much better already. I think I'm down to 101 now.
I can see you have your heart set on being an actress.
My heart, my soul, my very breath, the in my body, the blood in my veins.
Yes, well, that's enough of your medical history, but what practical experience have you had?
As what?
Well, for example, the thing we're discussing, acting. What acting experience have you had?
You mean on a stage?
That's as good a place as any.
Well, I studied for 3 years under Madame Zoblienska.
She teaches here in Moscow?
No, in my high school, in Odessa. But she's a very great actress herself.
Here, in Moscow.
No, in Odessa.
So you are then, strictly speaking, an amateur?
Yes, sir, in Moscow. But in Odessa, I'm a professional.
Yes, well, that's all very good, but you see, we're looking for a 22-year-old professional actress in Moscow. Odessa, although I grant you a lovely city, is, theatrically speaking, not Moscow. Now, I advise you go get some more experience and take some aspirin.
I traveled 4 days to get here, sir. Won't you just hear me read?
My dear girl, I'm finding this rather embarrassing.
Even if you do not employ me, just to read for you would be a memory that I would cherish all my life. If I may be so bold, sir, I think you're one of the greatest living authors in all of Russia.
Really? Really? Well, that's very kind of you. I suppose we do have a few minutes.
I've read almost everything you've ever written. The articles, the stories. Why, just the other day I read the one about the, the one about the, oh God. Every time I think of it, I just can't control myself.
What story is that?
The death of a government clerk. Oh God, I laughed for days.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, Churchikov. The sneeze, the sneezing splatter.
Yes, you found that funny.
Oh, yes.
Strange, I meant for it to be sad.
Oh. It was sad. I cried for days afterwards. It was tragically funny.
Yes, and out of everything you've read, what was your favorite?
My very favorite?
Yes, what was it?
Tolstoy's War and Peace. You asked me what my favorite was.
Yes, well, you're an honest little thing, aren't you? It's refreshing, irritating, but refreshing. Well, then, what do you have for me tonight?
I should like to read from The Three Sisters.
Indeed, which sister?
All 3 of them, if you have the time.
Good heavens, why don't you read the whole play while you're at it?
Oh, yes, thank you, sir. I know it all. Act 1. In the house of the Prozorovs, the drawing room of the Prozorovs' house. It is midday, and a bright sun is shining through the large French
That's not
doors.
necessary. An excerpt will do nicely, thank you.
Yes, sir. I'd like to do the last moment of the play.
Very good. That shouldn't take too long. Whenever you're ready.
I've been ready for 6 months, sir, not including the 3 months I waited to get on the 6-month waiting list.
Please, begin.
Yes, sir. Oh, sir, can you please say, ta-ra-ra, boom, die, sit on the curb, I may.
Certainly not. Why would I say such an idiotic thing?
I don't know, sir. You wrote it. Chebyukin says it at the end of the play. It would help me greatly if you'd please just read that one line. I've waited 6 months, sir. I walked all the way from Odessa.
All right. All right. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Tarara Boombier, sit on the curb, I am in.
And Masha says, oh, listen to that music. They are leaving us. one has gone for good. Forever. We are left alone to begin our life over again. We must live. We must live. And Irina says, a time will come when everyone will know what all this is for, why there is all this suffering, and there will be no mysteries. But in the meantime, we must live. We must work, only work. Tomorrow, I shall go alone, and I shall teach in the school, and I will give my whole life to those who need it. Now it is autumn. Soon, winter will come and cover everything with snow. But in the meantime, I will work. Only work. Shall I finish?
Please.
And Olga says, the music plays so gaily, so valiantly, one wants to live. Oh, my God, time will pass, and we shall be gone forever. We shall be forgotten. Our faces will be forgotten, our voices, how many there were of us. But our sufferings will turn to joy for those who live after us. Happiness and peace will come to this earth, and they will look back and remember kindly those who are living now. Oh, my dear sisters, I feel as though just a little more, and we will know why we live, why we suffer. If only we knew. If only we knew. Thank you, sir. That's all that I wanted. You have made me very happy. God bless you, sir.
Will someone please go get her before she walks all the way back to Odessa? In the heart of Vishenko Square, there is a small park that is seldom crowded. Here and there, a pair of young lovers stroll. A mother teaches her young child its first brave steps. The inevitable failure is cushioned in the soft green grass. A dog owner throws a stick for his faithful friend to catch, which he does faithfully and intermittently. A young girl calls out, "Fresh flowers for sale," which is only partly true. They're for sale, just not terribly fresh. But still, it's a lovely, quiet, and peaceful setting. Certainly, one would never expect this serene little spot to turn into a battlefield, which it did with marked regularity every Tuesday afternoon at 3. It was a quiet war. No guns, no booming cannons, no marching feet, but nonetheless a war. The adversaries, 2 aged and retired gentlemen, one military, the other naval. Both had served their countries long and with distinction, and in the twilight of their years they still had sparks igniting their passions if, alas, no fires were ever started. They argued about everything under the sun. Prostitutes, politics, women, literature. They never ran out of topics to disagree about, and they never did agree on anything, except to meet again the following Tuesday in the same spot for the purpose of continuing their disagreements. We're in luck. Today is Tuesday, and the time you've just heard, I'd best get on my way, for I have no interest in getting caught in the crossfire. I'll watch from a safe vantage point, there, by the children's swing. Approaching, from the east, comes the army. From the west, the navy. If I had a drum, I'd roll it.
Cool weather we're having, warmer than yesterday. They say it may rain. I think the sun's coming out. Here it comes. So, it's your turn. Pick a subject. I've got one. A good one, in my opinion. All right. What's the subject? Lunch. Lunch. Your subject is lunch. It's my turn, isn't it? I pick lunch. Not a very good subject, in my opinion. Does that mean you concede? I concede nothing. I merely stated it's a poor subject. But I accept the challenge. If it's lunch, it's lunch. Start. Are you ready? Would I say start if I weren't ready? Start means I'm ready. Go ahead, start. Very well. First course is appetizers. Appetizers, right. The best appetizer to start off a good lunch is herring. Wrong. Wrong. Herring is not a good appetizer. It's good. I didn't say it wasn't good, but not as good as caviar. Wrong. Caviar is too rich to be an appetizer. It should be reserved for special occasions, with a little champagne, a snack. Yes, an appetizer, never. Are you telling me that fresh caviar, lemon juice, finely chopped eggs, raw onions, garnished with parsley and served on lightly salted wafer-thin biscuits is not a good appetizer? Would you compare it to herring with a white cream sauce, marinated onions, 2 large black olives on either end of the plate, sprinkled with dill, and the end piece of fresh baked brown bread to soak up the drippings of the herring, the onions, and the dill into one final succulent mouthful? Huh? You argue well. I concede the appetizer. Thank you. Next course is soup. Oh, I don't think we'll have any argument here. Borscht. Borscht? Out of all the soup in God's creation, you choose an ordinary dish of borscht? Not in a dish, in a bowl. And there is nothing ordinary about piping hot borscht prepared with sweet sugar beets, Ukrainian style, with ham and country sausages, and topped with a thick white sour cream. Are you prepared to challenge a soup like that? I would sooner have cabbage soup, steaming from the pot, with thick chunks of boiled potatoes and globs of tender meat still hanging from the bone. And sooner than cabbage soup, I would take a full-bodied vegetable soup, with carrots, with fresh asparagus, with parsnips and ripe tomatoes. And sooner than vegetable soup, I would take fish tripe, with giblets, with fresh young kidneys floating on the top, so thick you would have to push your way into the soup.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm not talking about your run-of-the-mill, ordinary, everyday served in a restaurant borscht. I'm talking about peasant borscht. The kind you eat with a pound of hot cornbread in your left hand, and in your right hand, a thick, heavy, wooden spoon.
A wooden spoon, you say? That's different? Didn't mention a wooden spoon before. I concede the soup.
Accepted.
How do we stand?
You won the appetizer. I won the soup.
Up to here, it's a very close lunch. Next course.
Next course is fish.
Ah, well, in that case, we can forget about the fish. I don't care for fish. What I care about is the roast. You choose a fish, so then we can move on to the roast.
You don't like fish.
Oh, it's fine every once in a great while, but it's not substantial enough. It never satisfies me. What I care about is the roast. Now, you choose a fish, and I'll concede.
Pike. A nice piece of pike.
Carp is better.
But you just conceded the fish.
I didn't know you were going to choose pike. I don't find pike a tasty fish.
A nice pike fried in brown butter with stewed tomatoes and a thick mushroom sauce. That's not tasty?
It is, if you smother it with a carp boiled in lemon juice.
But you already conceded the fish.
All right, I won't make an issue of it. Change it to carp, and I'll concede.
But carp is your fish. Then I'd be conceding.
You could have chosen carp ahead of me. The option was yours.
Will you concede if I drop pike and pick another fish?
That seems fair. What do you change it to?
Brook trout, broiled with salmon.
Poached salmon and hollandaise sauce.
I thought you didn't like fish.
Maybe it's just the fish that you like that I don't like.
You're purposely doing this.
You accuse me of being false to my tastes. You dishonor me.
I dishonor no one. I call for a stalemate on the fish.
So soon? Why give up? There are so few fish that I like.
Very well. Fillet of sole cooked with white wine and grapes.
Sea bass and black bean sauce.
Stalemate! Stalemate!
All right. Don't get yourself so excited. We still have a roast to get through. All right. Stalemate.
I don't understand why there should be a stalemate when pike is so delicious, especially after we just had borscht.
What's past is past. The table is cleared. We're on to the roast now. Your turn.
I pass.
You pass? On the roast?
I pass my turn. I want you to go first. I don't trust you anymore.
Makes no difference to me. I contend there is no better roast than boiled beef, served with white hot horseradish, pearl onions, giblets, peas, beans, white bread, and cold spring wine. I can already taste it now. I can barely contain my mouth from dripping with saliva. It is, I believe, your turn. Unless, of course, you concede to boiled beef.
I do not concede to boiled beef.
Then mention, if you can, a better roast.
A nice piece of pike.
Pike is a fish! We're through with the fish course.
Not in the case of a stalemate. In a stalemate, you can always go back and try again.
When was this decided?
Just now, I decided.
Fine. You say pike again, I say brook trout again. Double stalemate. Next course, boiled beef.
Your turn. Boiled beef. Herring, borscht, and boiled beef. It's a meal for a cold, hungry foot soldier, not a commanding officer and a gentleman.
Am I being challenged or not?
I could challenge boiled beef with a small partridge. I could challenge it with a brace of quail. I could challenge it with a firm, young roast turkey.
Roast turkey. You may have something there.
I could challenge your boiled beef with a hen, a fat, juicy, white meat, thick-breasted hen.
Yes, certainly. A hen. A hen is always nice.
But I'm not going to do it. I challenge boiled beef with a duck.
A duck. How could I have forgotten about duck? I overlooked duck. Oh, what kind of duck?
A duckling. A round, plump, young duckling. One that has had a taste of ice during the first frost, and then it's roasted. Pan roasted to a crisp golden brown. The skin so crisp that it crackles in your mouth.
Yes, yes. I concede to duck.
Roasted with the potatoes, cut small into the dripping pan.
I concede, I said.
And the potatoes are turned and soaked in the duck fat. And in the pan, young onions are beginning to turn a deep, rich brown, sizzling and frying in butter and fat, while the aroma wafts up into your nostrils, driving your taste buds to a stage of frenzy.
Are you deaf? I concede, I said. You're purposefully doing this to get back at me for not liking the pike. I concede, all right. The main course is over with. We still have a dessert to get to, for God's sakes.
And the duck is basking in the juice of Spanish oranges.
Enough already! You're acting like a child over a silly piece of pike.
Try it sometime in butter and oil. You won't think it's so silly.
Would you like to continue or not?
Go ahead. I'm still savoring my duck.
For dessert, I choose.
Yes?
I choose. For dessert.
Well, out with it. If you can't think of something, I'll choose.
I'm thinking. I want to end the perfect lunch perfectly. I choose for dessert.
Cold peaches, sweet cream, and brandy.
No, that's my dessert. I choose cold peaches, sweet cream, and brandy. You can't take my dessert.
I can take it if it takes you an hour to think of it. For a meal to be perfect, it's not only what you eat, but when it's served. If I waited for you to think of something, I'd be hungry again.
I refuse to argue with you anymore.
Then you concede the lunch?
Are you through choosing?
Certainly I'm through. We've been through all the courses. The lunch is over. I've won a clear-cut victory. Concede the fact, and we can go home.
But as far as you're concerned, you're through choosing. The lunch is over.
Of course it's over. What in God's name could follow? Cold peaches, sweet cream, and a brandy.
A cigar. a big black Panatella cigar, followed by a 2-hour nap. That's how you end the perfect lunch. Cigar. And you know the kind of nap you have after a good cigar. Delicious. A delicious nap. It's not the hard-working, tiring sleep you have at night. No. A light nap is delicate. You sleep softly with warm, sweet dreams like the kind you had when you were 30. Yes, that's how you end the perfect lunch.
How could I forget a cigar and a nap?
And I'm not even finished yet. After the nap, a mint. A white, tangy peppermint kills the entire sour taste in your mouth.
All right, enough. You won. You don't have to rub my nose in it.
And with the mint, the afternoon newspaper. A cozy blanket on your lap, a warm fire, and a dog at your feet to rub your toes on. And as you sit there, with your body warm to the perfect temperature, you read only good news in the paper. France is in political trouble. They're starving in Ireland. England is in a financial crisis, but here, everything is good. And just as you're about to drop off with a smile on your face, the mail comes, and it's another medal from the Tsar. And as you're about to drop off into the perfect sleep, you realize you have nothing more to worry about until that evening, when the perfect dinner is served. Would you like to challenge me to the perfect dinner? I'll let you go first. Hors d'oeuvres.
It's my turn to pick a subject, not yours.
I think I'm through for today. It's a bit chilly. I'm not feeling well.
You don't look so good. A little pale? Maybe you should see a doctor.
It's a good idea. Perhaps I'll stop in on Dr. Wyszynski on the way home.
Wyszynski? That butcher? He knows as much about doctoring as my 3-year-old grandmother.
Are you trying to tell me you know of a better doctor in Russia today than Wyszynski?
Do you challenge me?
I challenge you, but not today. Next week.
Next week it is. You're right. It is getting chilly.
I think it's getting warmer. Here comes the sun.
It'll rain before you get home.
Next Tuesday, then.
Next Tuesday.
Days of love, I was not only unschooled, I had never even been in the classroom. I was so innocent and shy that I actually thought that no grown woman had ever been fully unclothed. As for connubial bliss, I dared not think of it, and as for impregnation, I chose to believe it was caused by a husband giving a wife a most ardent handshake before retiring, and left it at that. Now, my father was a wonderful man, quite liberal in his thinking, and on the occasion of my 19th birthday, he decided to introduce me to the mysteries of love. He was, however, a frugal man, and so decided to escort me himself to see in the matter of bargaining that I not be taken advantage of.
Natasha, where are you? Stop standing in the dark, shaking like a puppy dog. Come here. We have some adolescence to get over with.
Not well, Father. I'm sick.
Sick. Sick. What's wrong with you?
Haven't thought of it yet. Give me a few more minutes.
Fear. That's all it is. Pubescent fear. I was the same way when I was your age.
I didn't know you were my age. I just just always thought of you as older.
How old do you think I was when I was with my first woman?
You were with a woman, Father?
Of course I was with a woman. Every man who becomes a father has been with a woman at some point in his life.
The same woman?
Certainly not the same woman. Don't you discuss these matters with your young friends?
Oh yeah, all the time. But you get too excited to listen.
It's a man's obligation to enter marriage experienced in the ways of love. Otherwise, very valuable years are wasted with endless groping.
I don't mind wasting a few years groping.
And Tasha, it's all in the process of becoming a man. First you learn to walk, then you learn to talk, and now it's time to learn this.
You sure, Father? You know, I'm not really walking or talking that well.
And Tasha, I don't want you becoming an old man learning to be a young man. Now, are you going to have your first experience with a woman, or do I have to punish you?
Father, I don't think we're going to find any women of high moral character around here.
We're not looking for women of high moral character. There's far too many high moral women in the world as it is. That's why high moral men have turned out of places like this. Now let's get on with this business.
Can I hold your hand?
Certainly not. Can't become a man holding your father's hand. And Tasha, we don't have all day. Your mother's expecting us home at 9 o'clock. Now give us exactly an hour and 10 minutes for you to mature.
You mean you told Mother where we were going?
You think I'm that insensitive? I told her we're going for a walk, just to get some night air.
But won't she become suspicious when she notices that I've come home all grown up?
It doesn't show, Anton. You don't get spots like measles. There might be a slight smile on your face. That's all.
But Father, aren't there other ways for me to become a man? Like, couldn't I grow a mustache?
And Tasha, if you'd rather not go through with this,
Take
I
me
can take
home.
you home. Wait until I ask the question. If you'd rather not go through with this, I'll take you home.
Take me home.
Well, let's go home. You can get in your tub and play with your sailboats until you're ready.
Will you be angry with me?
No?
Will you be disappointed with me?
No?
Will you be proud of me?
No.
Okay, fine, I'll do it.
Good boy, Tasha.
If I like it, can we do it again?
Certainly not. I didn't bring you down here with the intention of leaving you here. My God, it's difficult business being a liberal father.
Evening, gentlemen.
Oh, God.
Steady, boy, steady.
Is she one of the teachers?
She looks like the principal to me. Alexa. She's a charming-looking girl. You stay here and I will attend to your tuition.
Father, couldn't I just take a correspondence course?
No, stay here, don't move, I'll be right back. And stop twirling with your hat, it's not hat twirling business. Good evening, madam. It's a lovely April night, wouldn't you say?
Is it April already? I don't get out very much.
I guess I can understand that. So, it's been some time since I've been involved in such matters, but I have a subject I'd like to discuss with you of some delicacy.
30 rubles.
Delicacy? 30 rubles, you say? Well, speaking for myself, I would say 30 rubles is more than fair, but it's not for me, it's for my young, inexperienced son. That's him, the one with the knees buckling.
It's still 30 rubles, sir. We don't have children's prices down here.
Still, 30 rubles seems a bit steep for a boy of 19. Would you accept 15 rubles?
For 15 rubles, I read Peter Rabbit. Sir, a Norwegian ship is due in here tonight, and I have to go in and put on my blonde wig.
Wait. It is an extenuating circumstance. It is the boy's birthday, and I wanted to get him a nice gift. What do you say?
Hi, chilly.
Well, run around, jump up and down, be patient. You've waited 19 years. It's just a few more minutes. 20 rubles, not a kopeck more. There's only so much I'm willing to spend on education. Please, it's for my boy.
Settled. You're a good and loving father, sir. I respect you for it. If I'd had a father like you, I would never have ended up here on the streets bargaining with fathers like you.
I think there's a moral in there somewhere. I just don't see it. Settled for 20 rubles. I just have one more request. At the end of the evening's festivities, I would greatly appreciate if you would just say, "Happy birthday from Papa."
Happy birthday from Papa. Would you like any candles, sir?
No, that won't be necessary. Just be kind and gentle. Gentleness, that's all I ask. Oh dear, a tear. Put me to cry over.
I'll wait inside. Second door on the left. I'll be gentle, sir.
Thank you. The girls these days seem to be so much more understanding.
May I say, it's men like you who make me proud to serve in my profession.
What a wonderful nurse she would have made. Natasha, school's in. So, my boy, 20 rubles. You have to know how to bargain with these people. All right, second door on the left. Go along. I will wait here. Take your time.
Do I say anything to her?
Like what?
Hello?
Hello would be nice. Goodbye would be good too. Run along, she's waiting.
Don't you want to give me any instructions?
That's what I'm paying her good money for. Questions you ask. Hurry along, son. Before she charges me overtime.
Okay, go on.
What now?
It's funny, but when I come up those stairs and then out onto the street, I won't be your little Natasha anymore. I'll be Anton the man. Well, thank you, Father. Goodbye.
Wait. Natasha, wait.
Yes, Father?
I was thinking. Wouldn't you like a nice umbrella? There's plenty of time next year for you to sure. Plenty of time next year.
If you wish, Papa. Yes, Papa.
I hope that piece about my father came out with some affection. I loved him very much. And yet, with him, as with all of the other characters I've shared with you tonight, I have a sense of betrayal. When I put down my pen at the end of a day's work, I can't help but feel that I've robbed my friends of some of their precious life fluid. What makes my conscience torment me all the more is I've had a wonderful time writing today. But before I go, what was it that we were talking about earlier, before the story of Cherchikov? Oh, yes, I was going to tell you what it was as a child that I most wanted to do with my life. Well then, it's funny. For the life of me, I can't remember. But as I stand here before you tonight, with a great feeling of peace and contentment, in some measure, I suspect I must be doing it. Well then, thank you for this visit. If ever you come this way again, please, drop in. Good night. There's an alternative ending. If ever you come this way again, I hope you inherit 5 million rubles. Good night.